PS1 and PS2 games on my PS3. I'll find my way back to you. But I promise this series first. I'm gonna finish it this time. We know you will. Welcome to Searching for RinoaCast. The Searching for Rinoa podcast. Cast.
We get it, bitch. Start the fucking podcast already.
Nothing's ever simple and clean. In real life and the Kingdom Hearts story. I just had this inkling feeling that once the PlayStation 4-5 did the 3 tiers of plus, the old games might go with that function, rather than just paying for a single game. Some people on Twitter have reported a few PlayStation games have expired, mostly the Squaresoft stuff like Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy VI, so on. I haven't checked mine. Don't know if it affects all games. I'm saying they're glitched, but I don't know if they're in like a super hurry to kind of fix that maybe. Again, I don't know. It's if they are fizzing them out, we're gonna play those games on the newer consoles anyway. It might just be those games under some sort of glitch, but if it goes, it goes. I didn't even mention on the podcast Nintendo 3DS was losing their stuff. I was just like, whatever. As long as it continues to play the physical stuff, I'm fine. I'm fine with what I got. I'll continue to stick with the normal plus I've been doing $59.99 for with your years now. I'll continue to stick with the normal PS Plus I've been doing for $59.99 for years now. Haven't said goodbye to my NES that needed the Game Genie still in the device just to work, and the SNES that yellowed. I've dealt with this before. Time moves on. But if they are indeed really rolling out by getting rid of them slowly but surely, even after they said they wouldn't, yeah. I'm more pissed that they promised and then went back on it, if that's the case. Time will tell, but hey, survey says one more for emulation. That's why I'm not super mad at it. Because most of my time right now is going into, what am I playing? I forgot how glassy Sora is on Proud mode. Yeah, continuing Kingdom Hearts 1 on that, trying to get that done. The wall for a bit was Pot Centipede, so I fought that from a distance. Stick and move. Did this so I could grind till I don't get two-shotted by Fat Bandits. Getting the 100 tech points from the 12 pots that show up in that Palace Gates area, and then the Black Fungus is another 90 each in some other part of that area. Yeah, Agrabah's a good grindy place for a while. Got up to around the 40s. Was kind of going for a while. Had a little stumble with fighting Captain Hook. But just the one loss. It's like, okay, I know he does this now. I know I can just fly around and hang back. Mostly if he summons the ship, I can go there and maybe get some more XP. Because then I'll just stay and summon it again and I can just wail on him or something. That's what I think I did. So yeah, did that, and it's like, oh, now there's defenders in Hollow Bastion. Grind does not get two-shotted by them. Then the multiple attempts at sticking and moving on Dragon Maleficent, figuring out how to when to unleash Strike Raid on the solo fight with Riku. Now, once you do that, okay, then they make everything stronger to get more XP. Back to getting two-shotted by, yeah, I got until I wasn't getting two-shotted by the defenders anymore, and now I'm getting two-shotted by defenders again because they buffed them. Also can't do the clock tower to get the goods anymore as a result. Oops. Messed that up. Thought I locked myself into trouble with the Chernobog thing because I couldn't... Because the save that place has won't let you access your... It's one of those swirly ones, but not the full green on the bottom, if you know what I mean. But basically, they'll let you save, but they won't let you go back to your gummy ship and do something else. It's like, alright, well, I'm stuck here. Oh, at least I can grind on the whatchamacallits a little bit. It's like, okay. Respec a little bit. It forced me to, like, okay, think a little outside of my... Like, alright, let's change things up. Let's do AP. Let me see if whatchamacallit works. There's, like, an aerial damaging move or whatever. It's like, oh, I'm constantly flying. That won't count. Alright. Let's switch one of my spells for Aurora, so I cannot get two-shotted by his fireballs that I can't fucking avoid or block. Let me drop this combo for, I forget what it's called. I'm sure someone's screaming at me right now once I say that I know exactly what it's called, but it's the one where you, like, survive with 1 HP. It's not Leaf Bracer, it's something else. Leaf Bracer is the one where you don't get interrupted when you heal. I'm like, that's important, but another hit to be near death and then heal might be more apropos. Because everything just about Chernobog does is 2-shots me. So I was struggling with him for a while. Well, I got past him. I'm outside the whatchamacallit gates now, so I'm going to grind my ass off, I think, and come back like level 70, level 80, or whatever, what I need to be, and finish that once and for all. Apparently the first time I did this on PS3, there's like the 15-hour... I don't know if I mentioned this before, but there's like the 15 hours that you got to boot the game in. You can go beyond 99, the clockal reset, and you can do it that way. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it that long. I can just, like, leave... I've done games idle before like that, but I just never knew you could do it that way. I was like, oh, wow. I just watched KZ go through, like, 4 hours. I'm like, fuck, I could do that. I might struggle a little bit knowing where exactly to go. I haven't played it as much as KZ. Nowhere close, I would imagine. But Kingdom Hearts 1 continues to be probably the most that I've played, so I'm looking at that and I'm like, I could do that. He did it in 4. I could do it in 15. And I'm only doing that when this other game that I'm idling right now I spent most of my time than I probably should when it actually wants to work. And that game is Bleach Brave Souls. Did not know this came out like in February, free to play, in its 6th anniversary on PlayStation 4. Had my fun with it for a couple days to start to take this one past 100%ing in this game, which I only need to do the 250 Brave battles. When I scripted this, I was that and the 5,000 enemy kills. But now I'm just, as I'm recording right now, so if you hear me mashing, I apologize. Just getting through. Because then the game just autos itself. I just gotta confirm for things and get it to do the thing. Because you can just spend one of the spirit orbs you get to get another Brave battle and just go all in with that. They're ultra rare trophies that should honestly be at least just rare because it's just a lot of grinding. It's not hard to get, it's just... I think I'm nearing like 200 now. I need like... I think down there, I think that's my score. 206 wins? I just need a couple more. Just another 44. But yeah, I can plunk down one orb to farm quicker if I wanted to. If you want 100% this, I'd focus on getting a bunch of the characters first with the pulls. Try to get a 4-star and a 5-star. Buff them up, get some orbs that way. Like, there's items for this game. I don't even know what the fuck they do. I'm just like, nah, give me the tickets to play. Give me the orbs to level shit up. Give me this thing where I can, like, grind levels. The Con Bonanza or whatever it's called. I know I can buff people past level 5 to 6. The game actually gave me a 6 to start with, and I don't know how. Either they just locked it for me, or I just got super lucky with a level 6 Lisa Yadamaru. Yadamaru? Sorry. I don't fault PM for having trouble with the names. There's so goddamn many characters. I didn't even know some of the Vizards or Vizareds like came back to like Soul Society and are apparently captains again. I'm like, oh, neat. To replace Aizen's ranks, but yeah. But my main was an Ichigo with all the... I somehow grabbed him. He had like all the crosses on him or whatever. God, there's so many Ichigos. I've seen one that's like dual wielding. I've seen the holification one. I've seen a holification one where like the mask is on the side and you can see his face. There's like a Frankenstein one. But yeah, the crossed one I'm using now, all his normals were just little bitty Getsuga Tensho so I can fight from farther away. I did start with an Uryu, but he wasn't... He could fight from a distance, but none of his attacks were like, go through the enemy and hit the enemies behind them. Ichigo took care of that. Like, leveled his ass up, took him to level 6 and made him much stronger, however I possibly could. For a mobile game with limited tickets to play, they give you 50 and you can go past that cap. Like, I played 3DS Pokemon games where you get so limited in turns. This game in comparison, I think, gives a little too much. But again, I had my fun. I fell into it for a while, and I was like, okay. It's like, then it's like, all right, this is gonna get repetitive. They have a really goat design in the Ulquiorra like merge design right now that I'm super glad I got that. And And then I tried another pull that I think was supposed to guarantee another 5-star, and I didn't get it. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I think that kind of like broke the spell a little bit. I was like getting like, oh cool, 5 stars. Like, I wasn't in for the waifus. I'm like, I'm just really glad I got that mage Ulquiorra. Such a good design. I'm like, ooh, that looks so good. The game is prone to constantly crash on me. Like, one time I think the game just like froze and gave me like an error I couldn't get in. Most times I'll play through and it's like, oh, PSN error, blah, blah, blah. When that happens, I'm like, alright, let me switch back over to KH1 for a while till I get upset at like losing all the time and dying. I did it before, it's just me trying to get through it quickly so I can do other shit is where I'm at right now. I'm impatient. I think I did play through like on the PlayStation 3 version of this. And can I just say what a difference PS4 makes? Like the load times alone, let alone how good it looks and feels to play. I'm like, oh my god. But after I do proud mode, I'm gonna go to beginner where I can turn Sword into a monster and just try for that 15 and then all the collectibles and shit. Speaking of Kingdom Hearts, coming soon. Coming soon. Coming soon. Coming soon. Coming soon. What KZ Excellence reaction? iOS Android in August gets the finale to that Union Cross game Dark Road. I assume that's just some extended universe, but it's all connected to main story in some way, because that's how Kingdom Hearts do. Like, again, people are going to be playing, like, 1, 2, and 3, and I'm like, you're not going to have any fucking clue what's going on. I haven't played, like I said, I haven't played all the games. Someone showed me, like, the new, well, I'll get to that. Yeah, I think I told KZX, like, didn't play Union Cross, who dis? I still have no idea. The new mobile game looks really good, the Missing Link one. I'm like, ooh, can that come to console, please? It looks like a console game that could get pushed to 1. So here's hoping for that. Walking up walls and shit, I'm like, next trailer, The Lost Masters arc. Sora's home? Or not? And again, that's Striza, whatever her name is. Straitzo? No, it's a JoJo character. It starts with Stra or whatever. It's a Stradalism or whatever. I'm never going to remember that name. Maybe I will after playing KH3 for the first time. But again, she talks of this world called Quadratum. Photorealistic dark side with wings. Neo dark side? Darker side? Sora's Keyblade can do all kinds of shit. The keychain actually does something for once. That was what I was most hype about. Like, oh wow. Gonna climb this thing and just 2 guys in the York 13 robes and boom bam, KH4. Elsewhere, Donald and Goofy are looking for someone. Probably Sora or somebody else. Who knows? Maybe Aqua, maybe Axel. Again, didn't play 3 or whatever. I intend to. That's why they did the whole series. So I'm starting KH1 all over again now. I am going to do that whole series finally. Well, except maybe for like, I don't have the Remind DLC. I don't have the dancing game either. You would think they'd put out a whatchamacallit with Kingdom Hearts 4. Maybe they will. Maybe they will tomorrow or something like that. They'll do like a next sale comes out. It's like, oh okay, they'll put those Kingdom Hearts games on sale, and I'll be like, all right, I'll pick them up. But yeah, I got the physical copy right now in my PS4 of the story so far, and then I'll do 3 once I go through all that. And then I got my I pulled out my 3DS copies of 358 and Recoded. So I'll be doing those physically too. Yeah, I'm going full KZ with it. I'm gonna do it all physical, not just the story stuff. I mean, I'll do that too, but just for the trophy reasons. But yeah, Donald and Goofy looking for somebody. A blue flame behind them turns red. I'm like, hey, it is. Did he get canceled? No one Holly weird, probably not. By the way, 10-year ban on Will Smith for what went down. But me, I would look at that and I'm just like, I don't have to go to your thing? It's like, alright. Fuck yo, awards show. Had a feeling I needed to play the whole series of Kingdom Hearts again, though. Some for the first time, but that's far, far off. Let's get to days and a week from now. Enough KH4 hype. Let's talk about what's really coming soon. April 14th, that new boss challenge mode for KY15 drops. You can unlock the coat he wears in that challenge if you win. That implies Rugal Bornstein is fucking playable. Again, with whole mode, they gotta be planning to add Gonets next, I'd wager. Probably reveal that when Team Southtown drops. I love how the DLC character teams are actually involved and not quite as an afterthought like 14's were. It's like, okay, learned your lesson, you did good. 224 wins. Yep, just 25 more to go. And I'll have 100%ed. I can't do a platinum hunting. It doesn't have a platinum, but as we speak, I'm probably going to 100% Bleach Brave Souls. I keep wanting to say Dark Souls. That's the DS. That's the second DS game. I think I still have that. Oh no, that is 250. Oh, I did it. Yeah, ultra rare 0.7%. It shouldn't be. It just takes a lot of grind. But again, if you're doing this, you can. It said down there I had 225 wins though. Maybe you must count something else. Oh well. I did the story, and I don't think I did all the eyes and stuff and didn't even get to, anything else. They have, side stories, too, where it's, the Zanpakutos toes and stuff like that. No bounce, though. I guess even they don't think much of that series or whatever. Should I be watching Gigaboost Chug and Bleach? I'm already putting so many hours through, their DBZ stuff. Well, I guess I can do that now. It's not going to be DBZ stuff for a while. Maybe I'll play catch up on that. I'm doing all the Millennium Microphone while I played that game as well. But that was Bleach Brave Souls. Speaking of games on other consoles and mobile or otherwise coming to PlayStation 4, next week you're going to be able to play Among Us on that console. If Sony is truly to blame if they've announced that they're canning PS3 Vita games in secret, then announcing they won't and then doing it later. That's very sus. Once again, not angry, just disappointed if that is indeed true. I had no idea Ono from Street Fighter moved on to make that new Melty Blood game. Holy shit, it's a smaller world than we realize sometimes. From his Twitter, I didn't even realize I was who I was retweeting until I looked at it. I'm like, oh shit! And I looked him up, I'm like, wow, he is working on this. Here are some more DLC characters coming in. Powered CL, who if you played whatever the latest Melty Blood is, she might have been for a couple of those games. I think the last one was Act Cadenza. Wait, no, that's one of the titles. It's Act Cadenza and then Act Cadenza React. Ooh, it's confusing. I can't remember the latest one off the top of my head. Oh, is it Accent Core Plus or something? I'd have to go to Mizumi to find out. But anyway, Powered CL's coming, and a new to a Melty Blood game in someone called Mario Gallo Bestino. Back to the Type Moon fandom wiki for this one. Who's a church bishop, next in line to be the Pope of that universe, and fights with these finger claw thingies that spew out this piano wire. So I'm like, wire characters. I'm always down for them. So he's if Doctrine Dark was ordained by the church. I had something coming, but I double-checked again. It looks like I got pushed back, so I'll save that for next podcast. Anyway, since there's no platinum hunting, I didn't bother to check for the levels. I don't know if that'll get me much to push me past the next current level for PSN. So let's talk about our second campaign in the Kingdom of Tezzeret on today's Tales of Roleplay. So So, we managed to save the world, or at least the Kingdom of Tezzeret, with our timey-wimey adventure in the Fraction of Time dungeon. What does a level 3 going on 4 party take on next? Our party has time to re-gear up, and then in the tavern, someone comes up with another quest for us. This girl named Meg tells us to find and retrieve her brother, whose name escapes me. But it is all she has, and the boat her da left her, quote-unquote. Yeah, me boat for me da. Managed to show us a finger of her bro. Mentions a gang called the Hatchets are responsible for the missing finger. I think she implies it's not the first one that they sent her way. It's like, might be the only next of kin, so maybe they'll come for her next. So that's why she's thinking she might cut and run. If this turns into us fighting the Axe Gang from Kung Fu Hustle, holy shit. This whole time I'm thinking like dun 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 dun. But yeah, she's the only next of kin, so she gets the finger to show us these guys are serious. She wants to get him back and then immediately set sail to someplace else. We're on the case, looking around for clues and whereabouts, pointing us to a fishing market. We hear a commotion and try to pincer our way in. Our paladin, who without a cloak can go over, because paladins are gonna, he'll dress like he's loaded, he'll spread his little peacock feathers, so to speak, and just, go in all touristy like. And it's like, I'll sell you this, and this, while you Ranger looks around the local catches of the day. Front door approach met with some resistance, as we clearly hear commotion numero 2 as the rest of us are sneaking around, and come to see someone on the ground bleeding with a bunch of other hooligans standing over him, while the paladin or the artificer looks around the store. Is met with a halfling holding up and showcasing this charred or past its cycle turnip, or so I thought till I looked it up. There actually exists a black turnip or black radish, but that's a niche. Easy pickings. Artificer had some gun, kind of like Fallout 3, that turns anything you can pick up into an insanely fast projectile. Tries a big tuna or swordfish, and even though it misses the target, it's fired so fast it obliterates by the time it hits the wall behind him. Still, even with that miss, these guys are no match for us. Thing is, not the person we're looking for, nor the gang we're supposed to be fighting. Turns out the halfling was showing the gang's calling card. They are one of the longest running gangs in this place, known as the Black Turnips. The guy we saved does know Meg's bro got taken to the Hatchets. He's a friend of the brother, so he tells us what he knows of this gambling house where the Hatchets are known to do their business in. Guy knows a lot. So he comes with, we kind of angered a gang. He says, man, they would have just roughed me up now. With all this, I better stick with you guys. His name escapes me too. I think his name's Bob or Og or something like that. Well, I'll call him Og. He's fearful of revenge of something called the Gullet. A name we heard around our eavesdropping as well. It's this boogeyman or Krampus kind of legend to scare kids. Maybe. More eavesdropping. Turns out the guy to ask who knows things is Sado of the Hatchets. He's the head of the gambling house or bookkeeper or something of that nature. We work our way in with Og knowing a little more about the moons to pay our way in. Pay to see Sado, pay to get in the place, so on and so forth. Now it's my turn to try and get to see if Sado, like, I act all touristy now. Have you seen Sado? Huh? You don't know him? I thought he was the big deal. The guy you wanna come to when you want to make some serious coinage. Guy I talked to tells us, wait by the statue, we'll send someone for you. Artificer, who is a half-elf, spots an elven nobleman or someone of that nature, tries to bring in the half-elf on this artifact he once recovered from these accursed human filth. That's like, it does no good in these hands. Don't you want to see it back in elven hands where it belongs? Artificer turns him down, who then proceeds to talk down to him and leaves, maybe muttering. I don't know exactly, but Artificer's pissed. He might have muttered maybe whatever the N-bomb equivalent is for humans that elves would use. I feel like the elves would come up with one and then point and blame the dwarves on it. It's like, how dare such vulgar language? Fey folk tends to their own more often than not. Long lifespan, usually outliving most other races, usually are the biggest factor of that. But yeah, Artificer is an enemy now. An on-site kind of enemy. It's like, The Kill Bill klaxon in the background. But I corral the rest of the party to wait by the statue while that goes on. This is all simultaneous. Once in this area of gambling and not the deeper gambling house we're trying to get to, we do spot one of the turnips that ran off after we dropped his friends, so now they know we're here. They make their move as the boy they send leads us to Sado and an incoming wagon, which unfortunately kills the boy leading us there. More damn turnips. These guys are a little more prepared to fight our party, but we quickly make our way out of that mess, try to pin it on some inter-gang violence and not just a small band of well-armed party people like us that just murdered a bunch of gang members in some darkened backstreets. So without the boy, we kind of continue our way, kind of fumble around in the dark a little bit. Well, some of us have dark vision, other torches. But we do stumble across the gambling house. All the really, really illegal bad shit goes down here. The dog fighting. They're kept in like these cages. One big cage where a bear and some armored up like Wolverine monkey or lichen or something. That's their main event. So while that goes down, it's like, okay, we do our sneak in. Less eavesdropping, more sneaky sneak as Artificer puts on the helmet that notices brain patterns, and it's like, there's several people in 2 rooms. One looks to be a game of cards sitting at a table. It's like, oh, they're all sitting. It's like, That door opens, and out comes the oath that the Artificer just made its on-site level of enemy. Fighter tells him, focus on what we actually came here to do, what we actually got paid to do. One room tells him there's a bunch of prisoners being held. So we spring them, one of which the brother, cool. One an old man who knows something about something. One a nobleman from a house that the rumor mill is... There's this whole big, like, inner city, whatever, like, noble houses have been hiring these gangs or these factions to fight their wars for them and try to, like merchant classes and stuff like that to try and take more control of the city. Maybe this house knows more of the turnips than the hatchets could help us. So we free them. He's all, grant me sanctuary back to my fancy house and I will return with help to fight these bastards or whatever. He's haughty. The brother is an out-and-out prick, but we free them as Artificer lets loose a flashbang or something to that nature. So while they look to see what the hell that is, we can escape and get the prisoners out. Our ranger, being very city-minded, knows the way out and the way to quickly get out. But yeah, brother, this whole time, it's like, oh, I can make some more coin here. Come on. It's like, I want to go back in there, and it's like, with his lost fingers, like, he's still talking about, like, oh, I'm going to make it all back, baby. Coming back. So yeah, compulsive gambler and a prick. We make it to Meg's boat. Big bro, sis, kapow! Meg drops his ass, yanks bigger bro by the ear, and they make it to the boat and off Tezaru. While they set sail, something quickly squirms from out of the shadows of the pier and eats Og in one gulp. The gullet.
He does exist!
They don't stay just boogeyman and legends for long. This sucker's this weird growth frog thing with T-Rex-ish rows of teeth. Like, really, really scary shit. Frog tonguing away one of the shiny trinkets the paladin had, trying to squirm away, spits it back at the paladin for ha-has, we assume. It's like, this thing is smarter than we're taking it for. It ate him, but we fight it to make sure at least no one else gets eaten. Some of our prisoners have already taken off elsewhere. Some of the ones that stuck with us fell into the water. Let's return this nobleman and the other prisoners we have left that didn't scatter and run to safety, or the gullet or whatever. Yeah, we fight it to kind of a standstill. It eventually backs off for some reason. Yeah, just squirms back in the shadows. I was like, we didn't actually get to finish him off. Unfortunately, as we make our escape, Sato and some of the hatchets have gotten to us on the way through more back streets, and another initiative ensues. So I think it was like 2-3 fights before we even get like a good rest. Sato, I made a thing where like talking to the guy, it's like, oh, he might be my fellow countryman, blah blah blah, and so on and so forth to try and schmaltz my way in there. I don't know about that, but he is indeed a fellow monk. Using that flurry of blows, like I mentioned, even going so far as to have a move that can paralyze or stun for a turn. It's called Stunning Strike, and I think I get that next level. So this guy was at least level 5. Now I reached 4. I think after this fight I reached 4. Or maybe during, I forget. I get my first of a few ability score improvements. 2 points to up your stats. So I upped my dexterity to 18, making me much better at hitting and not getting hit overall. And slow fall, to reduce falling damage I would take equal to 5 times my monk level. But yeah, Sato's a tough bastard. He's got another big heavy on there. These guys were tougher than the Gullet. The Gullet just ate him and kind of mess with us a little bit, maybe. Before anyone asks, deflect missiles only works when you get attacked by a ranged weapon. Because I was like, a bowman or two on the roofs offs the old man and nobleman. I'm like, oh no, I couldn't do anything about that. No, it's only when a ranged attack coming at you. Like maybe if I was in front or whatever, but no, the angle, they were like high on the roofs. I don't know if I could have done anything. So much for that side quest / backup. Yeah, we got more trouble against these hatchets than the 2 times the turnips attacked us. We did get paid at the boat by Meg about 100 some gold each for us while we tried to discreetly bring the nobleman's dead person back to his home without being detected after we win that fight. Ooh. He did paralyze one of us for a turn. I think we only get like a move or an action or something like that, or have to take like an action to like unparalyze or something. I forget how that works. Somebody got it bad. I was like, oh shit, we need to kill this guy now. He's gonna start burning more key points and doing who knows what else. So yeah, 100 gold each. Or there's like 150 gold each, I think, yeah. So I was like, oh man, I can re-up on whatchamacallits and then buy some healing potions. That's all I can do for the monk. I'm like, not gonna be needing any more weapons. Bring the nobleman's dead person back to his home without being detected. Made enough enemies already to warrant local militia's attention to us as well. We can't leave him to die in the streets. I forget how this comes about. I think the paladin is just like, he's a friend of the house. He's a noble, not the house I'm from, but I would be very much against just leaving him to die in the middle of an alley or whatever. So we should take him with us and just everybody else. I think that's how that goes down. But yeah, before we can decide, like, how are we going to get him to the house without alerting anybody or causing suspicion? Like, just, how do you drop off like a dead person at somebody's place? But before we can knock at our door before we do this, the halfling returns with a white turnip of surrender? Or cooperation? What could all this mean? Find out not next week, because I don't think we finished that campaign just yet. We did something for a while, and something else came up. Somebody else did a DM. So I got something else for episode 10. My first foray into Pathfinder in a circus setting for next week's Tales of Roleplay. No snacking for Rinoa either this week. Yeah, I'm running out of material and running out fast. It might not have been a good idea to throw it all in just one thing. The Tales of Roleplay might become a separate thing. The more I think about it, might just do like a one big couple uploads that are like separate to that. I was going to do a spoken word, but oh bother, I can't really do Winnie the Pooh all that well. I'm dummy thick. I'm a little black rain cloud, of course. I was going to do like voices by Randy Orton, but it's like, nah, it's already boring. It's already boring as is without doing, oh, so rumbly and my tumbly. think if I keep it short and sweet from now on. So yeah, I said like last week I was gonna post the Tom Sword as its own thing, but I'm like, no one's gonna get that out of context. So that got me thinking like, I might post the whole Tales of Roleplay separately. Especially for my crew that might not want to watch all the other stuff. I might do that for their sake. And I was like, oh, hey, by the way, I did this where I talked about blah, blah, blah. Send it to my brother's email and stuff like that. So it'll be mostly for them. But maybe you'll get a kick out of it just looking at it that way and just be like, Which might be how I plan on continuing that anyway, make it its own segment. Probably what I should have done in the first place, to be honest. But I thought I could like turn things around and just like... make that the focus instead of the wrestling, and then that be turned to like suplexing for Rinoa, which I may or may not decide to do as well. I don't, because TNA their YouTube channel did a bunch more pay-per-views for free. As Kingdom Hearts celebrates its 20th, Skullgirls reached its 10th. Wow, that long ago, huh? That era of free DLC on the latest Skullgirls is over. It's a season pass now that I found out. I was looking up. I'm like, are these out now? And then it was like $30-some for the whole thing. Any of the stars. Umbrella's on the way to PSN right now. I think she's on Steam and PC and stuff like that. Black Dahlia's next. Who gets the final slot? Maybe a playable version of Marie? That's... Just what if that character like Fukua? That's my want/guess. Who knows? I wasn't even expecting Black Dahlia to get a spot, so this game and Type Lumina is going to get 18 characters overall. It remains to be seen if either title will be done with the initial DLC packs. Yeah. Kind of a quick abrupt end to a podcast, but just because I'm losing meat on the bone here, so to speak, I'll finish it off with a 10th and then do something else, because... what I'll also be doing is working on the footlong of KH1 and that whole series and start doing reviews for that. If I do the D&D campaigns, I don't know if I mentioned them yet, but they're bi-weekly. And that's if we can get to that. So they might come as a when they come, they're out when they're out, when I get time to do them. Stuff like that. So without the Tales of, this stuff would be like 10, 20 minutes tops. I'm getting inklings to do videos besides the podcast. Maybe something good. Most likely something dumb. Very, very likely something dumb. I'll do a separate video on detailing what that is later. Might be while for Diamond Dove gets the chance to do it, but next week's the 10th. Just to land on a nice round number. Play me out.
God damn it, baby, no, I ain't lying to you. I'm only gonna tell you one time.